Okay, I'm still uploading, or well, but it's processing now. The video I just did on Book of Mormon plagiarism is proof of its truth. Unbelievable, Mormons! Stop. Okay, so going with the breaking news for today. Yesterday, it was released in the Salt Lake Tribune, and by anti-Mormon Peggy Fletcher Stack, whom President Nelson tried to remind her of her loyalty to the family in that initial press interview. So, yeah. Okay, the title of it is LDS Church Changes Temple Ceremony. Faithful Feminists. In the Mormon Church, that's a contradiction, Peggy. We'll see revisions and additions as a leap forward. Again, I keep trying to tell you guys, if you've got to change the church isn't of God. It's that simple. God doesn't make mistakes. God does things right the first time. And man must conform. So, yeah. All right, so I'm not going to go into the article. I just wanted to point out a couple of things, and then I'll get to what I'm going to talk about. Okay, it involves more inclusive language, more gender equity. It's supposed to be equality, I think. More lines for Mother Eve, and all in less time than before. Attendees described it as empowering for women, healing for those wounded from previous wording. Those were the words of Jesus Christ. They don't wound. His burden is light. Again, Mormons, are you not catching on? Yes, Peggy is specifically wording this to get her bias in. However, Mormons, if there are those of you who were wounded by the previous wording, and remember, it was changed in 91. The previous wording before that was even worse. So, again, Jesus Christ apparently keeps changing his mind, keeps changing his word. If God has to change to no longer hurt women's feelings, I don't think he's God. No, some other God. So, yeah, and then I thought it was interesting. They quoted from the Provo Temple of Bruce Van Orden. I do believe he was my mission president, or my son's mission president in Wisconsin. So that is very interesting that they would pick him. So, yeah, I got a letter from Bruce telling me that my son was sent home, and nobody bothered to tell me about it, his father, because he told me that the previous mission president was ordered not to inform me. Yes, Mormons, we don't separate families. It's called something else. Yeah, so there you go. Salt Lake Tribune. Yeah, sltrib.com/religion/2019/01/02/LDS-church-releases/ So I'm not going to remember to put the thing in there. All right, so it is done on the video. So let me pause this and then I'll come back to you. All right, we're back. We're back for the attack. Okay, so Mormons, let's go to your Book of Mormon. And what is the scripture mastery about the fall? I know you all have it memorized. That's what you get taught, is the regurgitation memorization method. So what is the scripture mastery about the fall in the Book of Mormon?
Adam fell that man might be, men are that they might have joy.
Notice anything different? Anybody? Bueller? Bueller? Yeah, it says Adam fell that man might be. Where's Eve? What happened to Eve? Didn't she fall that man might be? What's going on? Turn to Doctrine and Covenants, section 29, verse 36. And then the next one's in 40, because he rambles on a little bit. I'll wait. I was told by a viewer, Justin, he's bored with scripture attacks against the church. Come on, man. Tell us about the child sweat labor shops in the Philippines making the Mormon temple garments. Yes, I've already talked about those in another video. So, yeah, I've got hours and hours, days and days of video to watch now. So, yeah, he missed that video of mine. But he's bored talking about scriptures. Alright, so, sorry Justin, this is another video on scriptures. This is what the Mormons want to talk about. They're all about scriptures. And that's my target audience, is the Mormons. Because I need to convert them. They're in the wrong church. And here's why: it's the devil's church. Alright, Doctrine and Covenants, section 29, verse 36. And it came to pass that Adam, being tempted of... No, not Eve. The devil. To hell with the devil. For behold, the devil was before Adam. For he rebelled against me, saying, give me thine honor, blah, 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 blah. So now skip down to 40. Wherefore it came to pass that the devil tempted Adam. And he, remember the pronoun lesson that I gave you in the other video? He refers to Adam. Partook of the forbidden fruit and transgressed the commandment, wherein he, Adam, became subject to the will of the devil, because he, Adam, yielded unto temptation. Is anybody bold enough to say, well, the devil being referenced here is actually Eve. She was possessed by the devil. Anybody brave enough to put that forth among the church? I don't think so. Alright, so what's going on here, Travis? What are you trying to do? You're trying to use the Book of Mormon to twist the Bible. This is Mormon scripture, guys. It's in your scriptures. In the Book of Mormon. In the Doctrine and Covenants. And yes, even in the selections of the Book of Moses. But you got to keep reading. Because it quotes the Bible, or shall I say, plagiarizes the Bible, but then changes things a little later on to say that it was Adam. So, yeah, what's going on? What is all the fuss? Well, that's where you have to correct the Bible. And so when the Bible's corrected, it comes from the Egyptian documents, not the post-captivity Jew, who's been highly Babylonian influenced. And the Jewish tradition is that Adam had a first wife named Lilith. Now, Lilith wanted to procreate by being on top. Those feminists. Remember the article on the Salt Lake Tribune? LDS feminists. That's what this is all about. The Jews have suppressed women's rights, just like Mormons have, just like Islam has, just like Christians have. And so, yes, the Jewish mystic then comes out and explains, hey, Lilith wanted to have sex by being on top. And Adam said, no, I must be on top. And Lilith said, well, I'm out of here then. I want nothing to do with you. And she goes eastward into the Garden of Eden. Remember eastward? Cain went eastward, didn't he? Adam and Eve went eastward, didn't they? So Lilith goes first. But she never partakes of the forbidden fruit. It's not an apple, and it's not forbidden, actually. That's another, what does Joseph Smith call it in section 91 of the Doctrine and Covenants? Referring to interpolations of man. So, yeah, it wasn't forbidden fruit. They had to partake of it. Remember your temple text? At least it's maybe changed now. But Lucifer says, I have been doing that which has been done on other worlds. What is that? I have been giving some of the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil to them. Giving the fruit to the first man and woman has been done on other worlds, according to Brigham Young's text. And so, yes, Lucifer wasn't breaking the law. He wasn't breaking God's law. He was giving the fruit. That's what had to be done. So yeah, there's a doctrinal thing that Mormons have all missed. And yes, it was written by Brigham Young. So whether Joseph Smith had suggested it to Brigham Young, or we don't have any clue because we don't have an original source document from Joseph Smith. So all we know is that Brigham Young is the originator of it. Okay, so, but the Jewish mystic then goes on to talk about how Adam cries to the Lord and says, Lord, Lilith left me. I'm all alone. I need somebody else who's submissive. Again, the interpolations of men. They're trying to submit women to husbands. And that's how you write scripture if you want to control the minds of the people. You put your own little things in there, slip them in, sort of like Paul does in his texts attributed to him, even though it's not him that wrote them. And so, yes, women should keep quiet in church. And women should have long hair because it's a glory. And I believe that. I love women with long, wavy hair. But that's another issue. And so, so Adam is the one who fell. So the Egyptians, what is the Egyptians? Where is all this coming from? Why are people making things up? Well, not quite entirely. Because the Egyptian Heliopolis creation story is about the children of Shu. And Shu was the air, or moisture. Well, moisture was his wife. He was more of the air. But the heaven and the earth have not been separated yet. Those were his children. And his children were Nut and Geb. Nut is heaven. Geb is earth. That's the names. Geb, earth. Nut, heaven. So look at what the Bible author did. Adam, soil. Earth, soil. Do you see what he did there? And then Genesis chapter 2, verse 4. Now these are the generations, the human offspring through sexual relations, that's what generations means, of heaven and earth. Adam and Eve. See what he's doing there? And so, but in the glyph from Egypt portraying this scene, this story, guess who's on top? Heaven. The woman is on top. of the man. Do you see where they got it from? They took the Egyptian story, which is the origin from the Bible. That's the original text. That's the brass plates, people. Mormons, hello, brass plates. It's supposed to go forth throughout all the world unto every nation, kindred, tongue, and people. That's what Nephi or Lehi prophesied. It's in the Book of Mormon. Where is it? The church can't bring it out because they don't know Egyptian. They're supposed to be seers, and they can't translate the ancient Egyptian documents to establish the prophecy. Not just of the book of Joseph merged with the book of Judah into one book, which means that the book of Judah, which is translated incorrectly from the post-captivity Jew, needs to be revised with the original document of Joseph, who was an Egyptian, second of all Egypt. Brass plates? Anybody making the connection? The story about the brass plates is the Joseph family talking about the prophecy of Ezekiel being fulfilled. And it hasn't been done yet. The Book of Mormon is not the brass plates. It is not the stick of Joseph. The merging is actually the brass plates. You ever paid attention to what they say about what's in it? It has a genealogy through Joseph, but it has the words of the prophets of Judah. You ever thought about that? They're saying the brass plates is that fulfillment, and that fulfillment is going to go throughout the whole earth. Where is it, President Nelson? Where is it, President Monson? Where is it, President Hinckley? Where is it, President Hunter? Where is it, President Benson? Where is it, President Kimball? And so on, and so on, and so on, back to Brigham Young. Joseph Smith, what did he? A Book of Abraham. Oh, wow! And I've already done the videos to show you that Joseph Smith was actually correct if you translate the glyphs, the facsimiles, not the text. He didn't translate the text. So get off your high horse on the alphabet and grammar of Joseph Smith's. That's not the translation. He was translating the pictures. And his translation was incomplete, and there were some errors, but he had the right idea. That's the exact same manner that the post-captivity Jew did, and the authors of the Gospels. They also did the same process of translation. That's why Jesus has both Osiris and Horus stories as his story. They merged Osiris and Horus into one Jesus. They're separated, people. So all of the Horus stuff in the story of Jesus is not there. It's not supposed to be there. That's for the latter-day Messiah of the Jews. That's why the Jews say Jesus, he's not the Horus. They don't call him Horus because they don't make the connection to Egypt. That's taboo. Ooh, bad. And so, yeah, come on, guys, put the pieces together here. I don't want to have to tell you everything. Well, I'm having to. But, yeah, this is awesome stuff. Scriptures are cool, man. Sorry, Justin. Scriptures are cool. They're not boring. And so, yeah. Awesome. So, yes, the Heliopolis creation story, which is Genesis chapter 1, is Adam and Lilith. That's why the Jews say, oh, it's Lilith in the first chapter, Eve in the second. And that's where the Jewish mystics came up with, hey, take the tradition of the Jews, we'll then say it's because Lilith was first, and then Eve, and then we'll tell a story of how it was. Lilith was on top as the heaven nut, and Adam was underneath as Geb, the earth, soil. And then we'll use that wordplay, that kid, the other video I just did, was talking about. So yeah, that's it, people. And none of the Mormon prophets have ever come out with any of this. They're supposed to be seers. And Ammon tells the king, hey, I know a guy who's a seer, and he can translate any ancient document. The Mormon prophets claim to be seers and translators, though they never say translator. It's always sustaining vote for prophet, seer, and revelator. They left out translator. Wonder why? Doctrine and Covenants didn't leave out translator. No, not at all. So yeah. And so what was this battle between Adam and Lucifer? Is there any Egyptian evidence for it? Yeah. It's a rabbit on a boat in the afterlife stabbing a serpent. And there's a tree where the serpent was wrapped around. So yeah, the Egyptians had it. The rabbit represents Ra, and so it's a male, not a female. So you have in the Egyptian documents males battling serpents with trees. Ta-da! Adam fell that man might be, not Eve. So the Mormon Church, in making this change in the temple text, are still not getting it right. They're caving into the pressures of women of the church. They are not getting revelation because I already told you that the actual story is Adam fell. Eve wasn't a part of the original story. See, technically, Adam and Eve have 5 kids, and Set and Osiris are brothers, and Set kills Osiris, and then Horus comes back to take the throne away from his uncle and to restore the throne of his father Osiris. And once he does that, the wife of Set is taken away from him and given to Osiris, who has already been resurrected and ascended to heaven. And so Neith, am I pronouncing that right? Becomes Osiris's second wife to Isis. So that's where they mixed up, the post-captivity Jew messed up on that. So yeah, it's all in the Egyptian documents, people. The Egyptian documents are the brass plates. And not a single president of the church has taken those Egyptian documents and fulfilled prophecy to unite the stick of Joseph with the stick of Judah into one, correcting the errors and missing parts in the stick of Joseph, or Judah, sorry. The Egyptians have it all. It's the source for the Torah. It's the source for the Gospels. They have it all. Even the story of Jesus with the swine, and the swine are getting possessed by demons, and the demons say, oh, please, let us inhabit this swine. And then the swine go wild and run into the river, or the ocean, whatever, the body of water, and commit suicide. They die. That's from the Egyptians. That's on the tombs of the Egyptians during the Ramesses period. It's amazing. Wow. So yeah, it's all there, people. It's all there. So see, so even though the church is kowtowing to the Mormon feminists, they're still getting it wrong. So Women, you're off the hook. I just showed you that it's man's fault for the fall. So there you go. Dun, dun, dun. More scriptures, Travis, please. More scriptures. Give us more. We want more. Don't tell us about your life. All right. So yeah, that's why, Justin. That's why I don't talk about my life, because nobody watches those videos. I think it's awesome. You know, the tale of two Mormon brothers. Nobody was interested. So more people are interested when I bash the church, telling them that the prophets don't like the scriptures and that they don't believe they're true and that the church is false. More people are interested in those videos. So, and here's another one, people. Enjoy.